Hi! Currently I'm in a relatively non-creative phase, which can be quite scary for someone who works in the creative industry. But I work now for 15 years in creative jobs and I photograph even longer, so I know that these phases come and go and I try to see something good in it. I also try to use this time to take care of rather uncreative things. This is not supposed to be a video in which I will explain how to get out of artist's block. Much more, I want to show how you can benefit from times like this and that it can also be good to live through such phases. Usually, I have a lot of ideas for new projects during the week, of which I implement only a fraction. I usually write them down so that I don't forget them. If I suffer from artist's block, like right now, then I read through all the project ideas again, research them and plan them as far ahead as possible. So the most important advice I can give is to keep track of every idea your brain comes up with. Even if the idea you're about to write down seems silly. If you look at your notes during a phase of artist's block, you will look at them in a much more realistic and unemotional way, and sometimes your most ridiculous ideas do have some really good aspects. What can also help is to put the camera aside and take care of your hobby projects or such terrible things like your website and social media. By that I don't mean scrolling through Instagram for 8 hours a day, but thinking much more about how you can use Instagram better for your work. A lot of tips and very good input in German language can be found at Luna Dickmann's profile. I linked her Instagram account down below. But as Instagram is a platform that doesn't promote creativity, please make sure to use it as a producer and not as a consumer. In my opinion, social media is responsible for artist's block to a high degree. Such a phase of artist's block is also great to get to know your equipment better. As you're not working creatively, you have the time to learn a new technique or more about your gear. Modern day cameras have plenty of features nobody needs, but sometimes you find a function that helps you and your special style of shooting. And maybe, if you're really lucky, you will find some inspiration too. Try to change your creative process or try to work with a completely different genre. So if you are a street photographer, for example, try to shoot some portraits without the pressure of needing to deliver perfect results. I linked a video here if you are interested in how that went with me trying to shoot some portraits. When I'm in a museum during a creative phase, I get even more inspired and sometimes overwhelmed by all these impressions from the works and stories of artists shown. For me, it can be really good to visit an exhibition when I'm anything but creative. This way I can analyze the artworks much better and I'm able to learn so much more than during a creative phase. If you want to actively do something to get your inspiration back, it helps a lot to go back into yourself and realize why you chose photography or your genre in the first place. Sometimes the original thoughts and convictions get lost along the way, so it helps to become aware of such things again. Go on a long walk and leave your camera at home. Try to reset your thoughts, forget about your fears and just enjoy your surroundings. Another great way to reset your mind is to drive or ride a bike. Because you're focused on driving, your thoughts and your fears will be put into background. What I can say from my own very good experience is that it doesn't help to buy new equipment. This will motivate you for a few days at most and then the air is out again. It's much more important to come up with good ideas for projects and to have the energy to tackle them. And I hate to say this, this will only happen if you take it easy on yourself. You would think that the worst thing to do is to force yourself during an artist's block. But sometimes, not always, it works very well and I come up with amazingly good things when I go out and my only inspiration is that I want or need to take some photos. However, this often backfires and I come back home after a few hours without even having pressed the shutter button. Then the absolutely most important thing is not to lose faith that inspiration will come again. Sometimes it takes longer and sometimes it goes a little faster. Finally, it should be said that if you chose a creative profession or hobby, such phases are absolutely normal and shouldn't scare anyone. We all know the desperate writer with writer's block from the movies, but we are all human and suffering artist's block is completely normal from time to time. The important thing is not to be put off by this and to develop your own techniques. That's it. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and don't forget to like and subscribe.